I wasn't supposed to stay the night. That fire was never meant to linger past dinner. And his chair beside mine, set out so casually, wasn't supposed to mean anything. But the sparks didn't just rise into the dark. They settled into me. His hand never reached for mine. He didn't lean in first. He just stayed close. Present, like silence could be enough. And then I kissed him. It wasn't reckless. It wasn't wild. It was still. Like breath held between seasons. Like warmth returning to places I didn't know had gone cold. I didn't expect to fall asleep in that room, wrapped in the scent of cedar and firelight, the soft rhythm of another body nearby. But when I woke to sunlight breaking through the curtains, and the weight of not being alone, something inside me shifted. I've spent years shrinking, making space for others, holding everyone's stories except my own. But now, in this strange place with chipped mugs and quiet mornings, someone looked at me like I was whole, like I didn't need to be smaller to be loved, and I let him. So how did I get here? Let me take you back. To a narrow gravel road winding through maple trees, to a house with navy shutters, to a man with steady hands and a voice like morning, and to the week I thought I came here to rest, but ended up learning how to stay. I don't know what I expected from a place called Blueberry Hill, but the gravel road winding through golden trees is quieter than any therapy room I've ever sat in, and that's saying something. The car creaks as I ease it uphill, my knuckles white on the wheel. Vermont in early autumn smells like wood smoke and damp leaves. It's the kind of crisp that slips into your collarbones and settles, making itself at home. I'm not here for healing. Not really. I told myself it was just a break, a week away to clear my head, maybe jot down a few things, maybe remember who I used to be before I started listening to everyone else's pain. My GPS announces, "You've arrived," and I almost laugh, as if I'll truly arrive anywhere again. The B&B is nestled at the top of a small rise, surrounded by pine and maple, their leaves curling at the edges, like old letters. The house is larger than I expected, a white farmhouse with navy shutters and a wraparound porch. There's a rocking chair swaying slightly in the wind. No one in sight. I step out, stretch my back, and breathe. Then the door opens, and he steps out. He's tall. Flannel shirt, sleeves rolled, dark hair tied back loosely, and a kindness in his eyes that startles me. Not soft, grounded. "You must be Eva," he says, and I nod. My voice doesn't work yet. He offers to take my bag. I almost refuse out of habit, but something in the way he waits, not assuming, not rushing, makes me let go. Inside, the house smells like cinnamon and cedar. A fireplace crackles in the main room. There are books stacked in corners, and a large black cat asleep in a sunbeam. My room is at the top of the stairs. Theo carries my suitcase with ease and leaves it at the door. "If you need anything, I'm usually in the workshop out back," he says, "or making coffee." I watch him go. Coffee, I could use a damn cup. But more than that, I realize I could use silence. Real, undemanding silence. And maybe, just maybe, I could use someone who doesn't need fixing. The coffee is strong, too strong, probably. But it's real, made in a French press, not one of those chirping pod machines that spit out synthetic cheer. I find him by the window, pouring a second cup for himself. "I'm usually up early," he says, like it's an apology. "I'm not," I answer, still in my sweater from yesterday, hair a little wild. "But for this I might reconsider." Theo smiles. Not flirty, just warm. It's disarming. I don't trust people who smile too much, but his is measured, rare enough to matter. He points to a hand-drawn map on the corkboard behind the kitchen. "If you want to explore, I marked a few trails," he says. "That one leads to an old orchard. This one takes you to the lake. Most guests like that one." "Most guests?" I echo. "So you're the social type?" His grin turns slightly sheepish. "Not really, but I know how to make people feel welcome." I don't say it, but I envy that. I take my mug and wander outside. The morning air nips at my sleeves. Down the hill, a woman walks her dog. Further out, fog hangs over the lake like a held breath. I used to think I was good at welcoming people too. Years of listening, of nodding, of holding other people's tears in a place I forgot to empty. Now I'm not sure if that was kindness or self-erasure. Back inside, I linger by the fireplace. The cat, Theo tells me, is named Hemingway. Of course he is. He sleeps like he owns the house. Theo kneels by the fire to add wood. I notice the way his hands move. Sure, steady. Carpentry must teach a kind of patience therapy never does. What made you stay here? I ask. He looks at the flames for a long beat. I stopped trying to build things for people who didn't want to stay. Figured I'd build something for myself instead. I sip my coffee and say nothing. But inside, something shifts. Not cracked open, not yet. Just softened. That night, the fire pit crackles like a quiet heartbeat. Theo lit it while I was still finishing my dinner mushroom risotto with too much parmesan, just the way I like it. He didn't ask if I wanted company. He just set a second chair near the fire and let it be. I sit with a blanket over my legs, one glass of wine in hand, watching sparks float upward like they're trying to find stars. He joins me with a mug of something warm and cinnamon-colored. Not wine, not beer, just something his own. The silence between us is unhurried, comfortable. You don't talk much, he says, teasing, but gently. You've got that calm listener vibe. Were you a teacher or something? I smile into my glass. Close. Then after a pause, I add, I was a therapist, retired early. I smile into my glass. I retired early. He glances sideways. Why? It's a fair question. One I've dodged for months. I got tired of holding space for everyone else. One day, I realized I couldn't remember the last time someone asked me how I was. He doesn't respond right away, just nods, like he understands something he won't say out loud. After a while, he says, you know, this hill used to be blueberry fields, long before I got here. The soil's still sweet, even wildflowers taste like fruit. I look at him, really look. He doesn't fill silence to soothe it, doesn't rush to respond. I wonder if heartbreak taught him that, or if he was born knowing. Do you miss the city? I ask. He shrugs. Sometimes, mostly I miss the noise when I don't feel like hearing myself think. I laugh. That's honest. Only way I know. The fire pops, sending up a burst of red-orange embers. Our hands are close on the armrests, not touching, but aware. He's 34. I'm 56. The number used to feel like a wall. Tonight, it feels like a window. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing sitting here, beside someone who still has so much unfolding ahead. But then he looks at me steady, sure, like I'm not out of place at all. The kiss isn't planned. It just happens quiet, certain, like the fire between us. And for once, I don't pull away. We woke with sunlight on our shoulders, the room still scented with wood smoke, and then it rained. Not dramatic thunder, not crashing winds, just a steady, stubborn drizzle that makes the porch steps slick and the sky hang lower than usual. I'm curled up with a book, and Hemingway purring at my feet when I hear the knock. Theo gets there first. I hear his voice before I see him, calm, curious. Then I hear his voice. Michael, my ex-husband, not the one that got away, just the one who drifted away, piece by piece, until there was nothing left to hold on to but the paperwork. I stand, slowly. My heart doesn't race. It tightens. When I open the door, Michael looks smaller, grayer, nervous in a raincoat he probably bought in some rush. He holds a thin umbrella and a face full of unfinished conversations. Eva, he says, almost apologizing. Theo glances at me. He doesn't ask. He just quietly disappears, leaving space where most people would fill it. I was nearby, Michael says. Thought I'd check in. You were never good at checking in. I answer before I can stop myself. He gives a small, sad smile. You look good, different. I am. He hesitates. Do you think we? No. I say it softer than I mean to. You always wanted the version of me that didn't need anything. I didn't know how tired I was until I stopped trying to be her. Michael's eyes flicker. Maybe he thought I'd be lonely. Maybe he hoped for it. We talk for a few minutes. It's civil, clipped, and when he leaves, I don't feel relief. I feel weightless, like something heavy I didn't realize I was still carrying finally fell away. That night, I find Theo in the workshop. The rain taps against the windows. He doesn't ask what happened, but I tell him anyway. He listens, doesn't offer advice, just leans against the table, arms crossed, eyes steady. People always think healing is about forgiveness, I murmur. But sometimes, it's just about finally being seen. He doesn't touch me, but when I fall quiet, his hand rests briefly on mine, just long enough for me to know I'm not alone. But I feel it whatever's blooming between us, rooting deeper. I stay a little longer in his quiet. This time, I don't plan my exit. On my last morning, I wake before the sun. The house is hushed. Even Hemingway hasn't begun his usual circuit of breakfast demands. I slip on my sweater, press the coffee, and walk barefoot onto the porch. The air is cold enough to sting, but I welcome it. It makes me feel present. Here, alive in a way I hadn't realized I'd been avoiding. Theo joins me, silent, as if he knew I'd be here. He holds 2 mugs. One he hands to me without a word. Mine is the ceramic one, with the chipped rim. The one he said reminded him of something that's been through things, and still holds warmth. I hold it like an answer. We sit. The mist is still curled low over the trees, but the sky is beginning to bloom, soft streaks of lavender and coral breaking through the night. The hill feels like it's exhaling. He doesn't ask if I'm leaving. I don't offer it either. Instead, I say, I kept thinking healing meant going somewhere new, starting over. And now, he asks, I think it might just mean staying, even when it's easier to go. He turns his face toward me, slow, deliberate. There's a softness in his eyes, not pity, not rescue, just recognition, like he's been waiting for me to come home to myself. I think of all the years I spent becoming smaller, all the sessions where I told other people to trust their instincts while ignoring my own, all the ways I disappeared politely. This time, I stay. I stay in the moment, in the silence, in the space we've made, without rushing to define it. Later, he'll ask if I want to help him rebuild the orchard fence. I'll say yes. Later, I'll move my suitcase back upstairs. Later, I'll send a short email to the editor who asked about my essays and tell her finally I have something to say. But right now, I sit beside a man who never tried to fix me, never rushed me, never asked me to be anything but real, and I breathe. The sky breaks open above Blueberry Hill, and for the first time in years, I don't want to run.